I've been trading for the last 6 years. In year 1, I got scammed out and I started with $400, and in 12 months, I managed to get it to $1 million. And many times of this journey, I've traded my accounts up to multi-millions, and there's been a lot of times that I've lost a good portion of it. But as years went by, I realized that building yourself a system is what makes you a profitable trader. A lot of the times I was good at making money, but I was very bad at keeping it. Now, I spent a long time figuring out what was actually going wrong, and I finally got to the point. And this was the moment that I turned into a consistent profitable trader. The point at where I still get to live on it to today. So by the end of the video, you're going to find the missing piece in your strategy and you're going to be able to fix it. The first important section is the trading mindset. Most people start the trading journey as it's a shortcut. It's a way that I can make money quickly and get rid of all the problems in my life. The truth of it is this is the most powerful skill you could ever learn, but it is a skill. It is something that you need to take just as serious as studying for a career. There's a couple of phases when you start this journey. The first phase is exciting. The second one really makes you want to quit. The third one, you get desperate. And the fourth one, you start making life-changing money. And the fifth and the sixth becomes this most incredible life you've always wanted. But those first 3 phases are going to take you on an emotional roller coaster. And through that roller coaster, you're going to be tested. And the test is, do you really want to take this seriously? Are you ready to commit, especially when things get bad? Are you ready to face the truth that your emotions control you, that you have weaknesses and strengths, and you don't know how to contain them? And the moment that you can accept that you have these things about you and you start working with yourself and you start building a system, all of a sudden you'll see that it was a lot easier than what you thought. And at the same point, you're going to be a more and improved, better you. You're going to be able to control your emotions. You can be disciplined. You can be structured. All of you have it in you. But the question is, can you get through the first 3 phases? So I'm here to tell you now that it is a grind. It is multiple months to a year or 2 to really get the skill of trading. But once you have it for life. It creates this life of being free and moving around the world with your laptop and being able to create money at any point. But it also means that you are finally responsible for your own money. You're responsible for the growth, for the losses, and the risk. You are responsible for protecting your capital, which sounds like a lot of responsibility. But when you are the one in control, it's extremely powerful. And it makes you realize that you don't have to rely on anyone in this world. You have everything in your control. But with that comes the hours, comes putting your mind into things and continuously growing yourself and not looking to chase and follow others, but actually focusing on building yourself and your strategy. So the important thing here is to set real expectations and to really build, do you want to do this and how big do you want to make this? So I got a few questions to ask you. So with these questions, I want you to bring out a journal and I want you to write them all down section for section. And by the end of it, you're going to see all of your information to build the system that you're looking for. So the first question I have to ask you, why do you really want to trade? The second one is, what does success look like to me? The third one is, what are your natural strengths? What are my natural strengths? The fourth one, what are my weaknesses? The fifth one, what type of trading suits my life right now? Realistic. Do you have time to commit? Do you have a job and you can commit 2 hours a day, right? What type of trading suits your life right now? And the sixth question, which is the most important, if it's going to take you up to 3 to 5 years to learn the skill, are you willing to commit? Now, what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be building an analogy. An analogy is building a car, right? You are a car, and with the car comes different components, right? And these components is what's going to create your entire system. So now we jump onto section number 2. We need to build your engine. Now, not only are we going to build an engine, I'm going to ask you this now. If I say you have a race for 10 years, right? 10 years, you've got to do your race, and you have preparation right now, right? And you need to build me an engine. In your head, are you going to build and just put together an engine? Or you're going to think about that engine because you know that you can't replace or change that engine too much for the next 10 years. That engine's got to last you. The more you have to stop on the side of the road to fix your engine, the longer it's going to take for you to get to your destination. So you have the ability to focus on your engine right now, but in your head, you got to realize that engine has to last you for 10 years. So what that's doing is it's making you build and putting the time and effort to build your engine for a long trading career and not something where you have to stop on the side of the road and maybe your car blows up and you can't even get anywhere near the goal you've been searching for. So what your engine is, it's your strategy. It is something that's built around you. Now, many have a mindset of following other people. Guys, you can follow other people for information, but you need to be taking that information and building your strategy. You need to pick which market you want to lock in first. Once you've mastered one, you can move on to others, but many try to do too many at once. Do you want to start in crypto? Do you want to start in stocks? Do you want to start in commodities? Where do you want to start, which one do you find the most interesting right now that you can enjoy, and which one you're going to lock in to master first. Then you need to choose a time frame that suits your life. There can be evolving time frames later on, but what I mean by that is, do you have an hour a day that you can fully commit? No matter what happens in your day, can you take it serious and for 1 hour a day commit? If it's at 1 hour a day, that's the phase one. That's to say that, okay, for 3 months, I might not make money, but I can commit an hour a day. But when I start making money and I can start relieving some of my work, then I can do 3 hours a day, right? And then I can do 10 hours a day when I reach this amount. What you are doing is, where can you start, and realistically, what is the time frame that you can start off? Then you need to build yourself a checklist system. Now, I use technical analysis, and I want to show you guys this chart here for a second. And what I do here is I create a checklist to help me grade trades. Grade A, grade B, grade C. What that means is I have a checklist of 5 things that I want to tick a box if I want to take a trade. So if I look at this right now and I see my tools, the first one I use is a RSI. And as you can see here, this RSI is sitting at the top. So if I wanted to buy right now, which I can see we're pulling down, this thing is telling me, no, not yet. Then what I have is a trend line. Are we breaking the trend line? No, we're not. Are we on support or my Fibonacci? No, we're not. Right, so right now it's telling me 0 out of 5 is ticking the box. But if price goes down here and bounces and RSI is at the bottom and trend line breaks and everything gets pushed and I get a 4 out of 5, that's a B grade trade, which means that I can enter money, but not full amount. I can enter 50% of the capital that I wanted. If 5 out of 5 is ticking the box, I can go full amount in, because the chances of the trade working out on a 5 of 5 is very good. If it's 3 out of 5, it's a C grade trade. And again, this is what you watch YouTube's for now, right? If you watch my shows on Crypto Banter, this is what you're doing it for. To take the notes off of what tools is he using, putting the tools on your chart and finding the tools that help you get really good trade setups, and putting 5 of those together in a checklist to help you identify if you want to trade at any point now. You can put your checklist on, know how strong the trade is, what grade it is, okay, and also knowing when it's ready to be taken. And thirdly, what it does is, how much money should I go into the trade? Trading's about probability. It's not about being always right. It's about knowing when there is a good setup and knowing how much money to put in. So if there's 3 out of 5, you put 20% of the money in. So if you get it wrong, you only lose on 20% of the capital. When it's 5 out of 5, you go a little bit more aggressive because it's a very good chance it's going to play out. Now, when you're building this checklist, again, I'm going to say this. You have your motor and you're about to hit 10 years of racing with that motor. Do you think you should test that motor? Do you think you should drive it around the track a few times and make sure that everything is good and strong and you're happy? If so, build your checklist and go paper trade for 40 to 50 trades. Take that system and trade it, trade it, trade it, trade it, trade it. Oh, it's amazing. You understand it now. You feel it now. It feels great. Now you jump onto the road. Now you take money and you go into the market. What's the biggest mistake everyone makes? Like, they don't test their motor. They go straight out. And that's the problem. They blow up, they're on the side of the road and they can't complete the race. And they end up quitting, right? And that's the important thing here. Your checklist needs practice. So take it, jump on a 5-minute chart, and you can do 40 to 50 trades in 2 days, right? And really see that you are comfortable, that it makes sense. And if not, where are you lacking? Where can I go watch a YouTube video? Where can I learn another tool? Add it together, get comfortable. Once you're comfortable, then you jump onto the road and you start racing. Guys, I know multiple people that were not getting it right. And the moment that they started focusing on their engine, it switched on. You already have so much of the knowledge in you. And even if you've never started before, you can do this right. Many go down the wrong route, okay? But the moment that you focus on this, you'll be shocked how quickly it starts to come right. This is not a science. It just comes with control and focusing your focus on the right points. Now let's keep going, because the strategy is only half of it. Now, when it comes to racing, you don't just need an engine, right? You need a whole complete car. So the next section now is the dashboard, right? You need to know the controls. You need to know the different systems. You need to know the warning signs, right? So you need to know all the different things that you need to monitor. So when you're in the race, everything is looked after. And this comes down to your trading tools. So the first one is your charting software. This is your navigation, guys. This is to help you identify trades, okay? Something like TradingView or trading on your exchanges or charting on your exchanges. Something that can navigate where trades are, when are you taking a trade, what are you trading. Then the second one is execution, the platform where you are taking the actual trades. This is your pedals in the car. When you're going, when you are stopping, when you're putting actual gas and money on the line. So this is your exchanges you trade, where you use leverage, put stop losses, where you actually execute. Number 3, journal and data system. This is your monitor. This is where something tells you if something needs fixing or something is working, something that is controlling and looking at the whole system to help you navigate, if there's anything you need to shift or change or any warning signs. Then you need to build a watch list, right? Something that's in the category category of where you're trading that's easy to find and simple. Remove the noise, keep it very simple. And then an important thing is remove the tools that no longer matter. So in the beginning, you're adding multiple tools, you're experimenting, but what your goal is to actually start removing, right? In the beginning, it's okay to look at everything, but the more you move, the more you start defining into the key recipe that you're looking for. So there's certain points where you need to actually be removing tools that are creating confusion. Now I want to ask you these questions. The first one is, where do you analyze? The second one is, where do you execute? The third one is, what markets do you watch? The fourth one is, where do you track your data? And the fifth one is, what do you remove? Now let's jump into section 4, which is building your trading journal. This is building your GPS. Now I want you to answer this honestly. Do you know what mistakes you keep repeating? The ones that cost you every single time. Most traders don't, and that's why they just keep repeating the same mistakes and then they quit and they think they don't have it to make it in trading. They're not paying attention because they are not tracking it. Now your journal is your GPS. This is showing you data and showing you if you are moving towards your destination or if you're just driving in circles. You need to be tracking every trade, specifically when you are building your system. Once you have your system, you don't need to track as much as you are in. You will see the results. But when you're building your system, you need to, why you're entering, where you're entering, where you're putting your stop loss. Do you have a good risk to reward? Where you're putting your take profit points? What tools are you using? When you got it wrong, what was the lesson? Did you learn from the lesson? What rule are you putting in place for the next time, right? You need to be filling this out on every single trade, especially when you're paper trading and taking your car around the track. This is the best time to do so. Losing trades tell you what to fix. Winning trades tell you what to repeat. How many times have you made the same mistakes, but you did not write it down the first time? So again, you go around the track, you do at least 20, 30 laps, right? 20, 30 trades. What mistakes am I repeating? What winning strategies or winning tactics am I repeating? What do I need to change and what do I need to keep? Now, without this, you're just going off your gut of what I felt. This is not showing you what is actually the wrong problem or something that's not incorrect. And you'll be surprised the moment you actually see the truth of what's going incorrect and you make those small changes, you'll realize you're a lot closer than what you think. Section number 5, trading rules. Building the safety systems. The strategy keeps you in the trade. The rules keep you in the game. They are not the same thing. Without rules, one bad mistake destroys multiple weeks to multiple months of hard work. And this can be very demotivating. This is like you getting really far in the race and you blow up your tire on the side of the road. You were having the best time of your life, but one mistake, your navigation didn't pick up the tire and that blew up and it ended up everything. Guys, this happened to me many times. I built incredible accounts and I lost a huge amount in 24 hours. And that's because I did not have my navigation system tracking the problems. I didn't have the warning signs. I never had the rules and I never stuck to them. Now, again, these are emergency lights that help you not break down. They give you warning bells before the big problems are coming. Now, there's a couple of factors to pay attention. The first one is emotional rules. Don't trade in a bad mindset. If you just had a fight with your partner or someone you're not happy and now you go trade, you got to realize your emotions are sitting at a high point. And when we're at a high point of emotions, may it be upset or may it be happy, right? We tend to make mistakes. We do not think clearly. The key when it comes to trading is neutral. So you need to set yourself emotional rules around where am I mindset wise. Again, no more short-term thinking. If you're in a race and you got to drive for a long period, what's the important thing? Sit on the side of the road, breathe, get to neutral and commit. Don't go angry or upset. You're setting yourself up for a short race, which again goes for the next one, which is the winning mindset. I don't think people take this serious enough. We don't understand how many mistakes we make because we're winning. We start to get greedy. We start to get arrogant. We think we know everything. And that's when all the problems come behind the dashboard. Then you have diversification rules. We compound too much, right? So when you win, you make the account bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then one loss and you remove half of it. We're not moving enough money out. So you need to have diversification rules. To say when I double my account, 50% goes to long-term, 20% goes into cash, and I compound 20% and I build the next trade. By doing this, you're setting yourself up with backup funds as well as not putting everything in one basket. Now, the questions that I have for you. What is your max risk per trade? Look at your portfolio you're trading with right now. What is your cost per trade? Max risk per trade. What is your max loss per session? How many losses in a row until you stop? What are your trading hours? And when are you not allowed to trade? Now, without these, your car has no brakes. It has no warning signals. And this is something that catches up to everyone. Section number 6, information system. This is your radio system on the vehicle. Now, think about it. You're going on a 10-year journey and a race. You want good stuff on the radio radio. You want stuff that's helping you with the race. You don't want a bunch of nonsense that's going to distract you. It's the same thing with trading. So when it comes to information, right, you need to be tracking information, but doing it for the reason to help your abilities to have a better race, not to try follow someone else's strategy. You already started the race and now I say you must use someone else's strategy, right? You're setting yourself for failure. You haven't had time to test that strategy. Their life is different to yours. So the key here and the goal here is to watch others and look for their mistakes, look for their successes, and to take that information and help you build your own. There's so much power in learning from others' mistakes. It helps you not go down that road and pay the same mistakes. As when it comes to trading, it's like a set thing that everyone goes through. So from learning from others, you can shortcut how quick you get to that destination because you just listened and you used it to your advantage. This helps you learn faster, improve faster, and help build your journey a lot smoother. So in the beginning, start with 5 to 10 sources of information and then start removing. The moment you start seeing who's working for you, who do you trust, who's very transparent, who makes sense to you and is actually helping your ability, start removing. And you want to get to a point of 2 to 3 great information sources daily. Because again, the more you distract yourself, the more you're getting away from your own journey, the more you're stepping away from your own system. So you want to make sure that your time is used wisely and that all this information is helping you build yours and not distracting you and not taking away from your abilities of being able to do it. A lot of us think we can't do it. You can do it. Just put time into your system. And this is where the trading journal becomes powerful, because when you see a problem on your trading journal, I'm struggling with stop losses. Now you can go watch stop loss videos and you can improve that section. Oh no, now I'm struggling with my 2 tools. Now you can go study those 2 tools and watch people on those 2 tools. So again, that trading journal highlights where should I study? What should I study? Instead of just, I need to study everything and follow people. If you're breaking rules, go study that. And then what's very important is run all these new ideas through your checklist, your system, and your rules before just acting on it. Section number 7, capital plan. This is building the route, building the destination where you're actually going. Most traders have a destination, but no route to get there. They have this life that they want, but they don't know the steps to get there. And it's very important to build the route. And with that route comes checkpoints. This is very important. The first checkpoint, take a breather. Second checkpoint, take a breather, reevaluate, upgrade the system, move to the next one. So if I say you're going on a 10-year journey, there's going to be pit stops. There's going to be areas where you're going to sit, relax, and reevaluate things. It's important to build that because this race is not just on the road. Some of them are over mountains and some are on sand and some are in rain and some are in snow. There's multiple things that come on this journey, especially as your money is growing. We think that more money is going to remove the problems. There are 10 times more problems the more money that you have, which means every checkpoint you have an opportunity to reevaluate, rework the car to do the next section. So again, your GPS might say, I want to turn $1,000 into 100,000, but you need to have stops along the way. So a simple way yet again is to break it down to say 1,000 at 3,000, at 9,000, at 20,000, at 50,000, at 100,000. These are the stops where I'm going to reevaluate the system when I get to them, so I can prepare myself for the next stop. Because what's very important to understand is $1,000 versus $50,000 are 2 complete different strategies. If you treat $50,000 the same way as $1,000, that's where a lot of people get it wrong. There are slight upgrades and shifts you need to make as the money starts to grow. The goal here is to pass a level and keep it, not pass the level and restart, which again gets to an important part, a splitting system. This is something you must really focus on, especially when you're reevaluating, when you add a checkpoint. You say, okay, when I make this much, I need to put some in long term. I need to put some in cash. I need to spend some to motivate me that I'm on the right track. And I need to slowly compound my accounts where I need to do so, as well as looking at new strategies. In the beginning, I trade one strategy. By the time I'm at 50,000, I can have some money in bots and long term and investments and some in spot and some in leverage. It starts to get a little bit more calculated and you start to split the capital so that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So here's some questions. Where is your final destination? Where are your checkpoints? Where are you going to reevaluate? What's your first goal? Because when you start the race, the goal is to get to checkpoint 1, not the final destination. When you're at checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, what are those checkpoints? checkpoints? When do you stop and review them? At each checkpoint, ask yourself the question, what tools or upgrades do I need to get to the next checkpoint? Before I go and jump on the road, who can I study? Where can I test? So again, each checkpoint, paper trade, build the system, get back on the journey. How much of the profit do I keep in the account and how much of the profit do I split? Now the goal here is not to fill this out for the entire journey, but I'm saying for checkpoint number 1, fill these out and build yourself a full plan. Section number 8, your reviewing system. This is like a board meeting, a weekly board meeting, but it's yourself in different ways. It's you and multiple yous around the table. Every checkpoint, every few miles, you have to stop and re-evaluate the entire system. Look at all different aspects of the car. Is everything firing right? Are we on the right trajectory? Is everything working to get to the destination? The ones who skip this are those on the side of the road. When you're driving, you see people stuck on the side of the road, they didn't check if something was wrong before they jumped into the vehicle. Now, this is where once a week you review and reflect on everything and you truly reevaluate yourself and the entire system. And this takes discipline of once a week putting in an hour of time of you going through everything. This is your weekly review of your board meeting and you as director and the business owner of checking if everything's on track. Now in this review, it's your trading journal. It's the data, it's the strategy, it's the emotion plans, and it's the capital plan. Then you ask yourself the question, what worked? What didn't work? What patterns are showing up in my data? Are my strategy, tools, and rules aligned? What needs fixing or removing? Sometimes we think we need to fix something. Sometimes you just have to remove something. Am I ready for the next level? So guys, what you have here is 8 sections. And the moment that I took these sections and I started using them, I built a powerhouse system that to this day, 6 years later, I can still go and go and go. And for me, a test is 3 to 5 years. You get through that of trading and being able to continue, you officially become a successful trader. And throughout my journey, I've spent millions of dollars at different times to learn the system that I'm sharing with you right now. If you build the system that I just taught you here, you're setting yourself up for a long race. And that's where this skill becomes very powerful. It's not a short-term fix. It's a massive long-term fix. It's a life of happiness, freedom, and power. When you know how to control and protect your money, you become powerful. That allows you to sleep at night with confidence and happy and fulfillment. So guys, I'll see you on the YouTube shows. Come through with your notes. Just take what you need, but I'll be there consistent all the time. I do have a community if you want to join it of people that are trading. There's a link below in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.